morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hope you are having a fantastic day. Wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call home. What's good, everybody? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? What is good? It is Wednesday, hump day. Yay. Man, we made it halfway through the week. And today's a big day as we have the Fed Chair, Jerome Powell, giving an announcement today. You want to give a speech? So we will tap into that here in just a little bit. We got what? 28 minutes. 28 minutes before that pops off, and then we'll check that out. But yeah. It is Wednesday, right? It is Wednesday. Man, it is Wednesday, and it's still cold. Still absolutely cold. It seems to be maybe melting a little bit, but at the same time, it's supposed to get really cold. It's about to get a little colder. So who knows what's going to happen? Let me mute my phone real quick because it's going to go crazy here in a second. Un momento, por favor. There we go. And boom, we in there. All right, cool. Got it down. But yeah, how's everybody doing today? Let's see who we got in the building today. Let's check it out. Get into the comments. We got Miss Sarita in the building. Good morning and happy Wednesday to all. Sending positive vibes and an awesome day to you. With so much happening, don't forget to be grateful. Absolutely, yes, ma'am. Always with that positivity coming in for early first in the stream. Definitely appreciate it. Larry, what's good, brother? Good morning. I smell blockchain coming soon. Ooh, yes, sir. John put a tweet out, said that the first round of testing, I do believe, was done on that bad boy as well. I do believe that was a tweet that I seen from old Mr. John. And let me see if I find it. Let me see if I can find it. Absolutely. But yeah, John G coming in hot. Last night saying initial testing for Grove blockchain is finalized. All bugs are fixed. Stay tuned for further exciting updates. So there you go. With a nice little update from John G yesterday, letting us know that the initial testing for the blockchain is complete. It's done. It's finalized. And all of the bugs are fixed. So we'll be staying tuned. We'll definitely be staying tuned for that. Pika, what's good, brother? How we doing? Pika, all aboard. Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's get it. We are inching so very close to that blockchain coming out, and I cannot wait. At all. Cannot wait. John G, I don't know why I took the screen down. I could have just saved that. But John G definitely has been on a tear here lately. We also got some new updates about Gate.io and Grove. So Gate.io will resume trading for Grove on February 2nd, which is tomorrow at 5 a.m. UTC, which is pretty solid. And then we get an official from Gate.io itself. Gate.io will list Grove token, or GRV Grove coin, trading pair GRV USDT. And that, like we said, will go down tomorrow. Trading goes live 5 a.m. on the 2nd UTC. So pretty solid there. Pretty solid. Let's see what we got. Huobi to launch Grove coin tomorrow as well. So tomorrow is a big day for Grove. We got Gate.io as well as Huobi. And I do believe that we're going to have some marketing campaigns on I believe both. But I do believe it, at least Gate.io and their 10 million daily users. So pretty wild. And but yeah, there it is. That's what we got going on so far. Mr. John G has been on a tear over on Twitter. So yeah. And I know one thing here soon. We're going to start. I'm going to start pushing the Facebook group as well. We do have a Grove Facebook that we're going to start getting into and having some more information out there as well. So be on the lookout for that as well. We're going to have that out. So be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. You never know. I may pop in there and do like a giveaway for the Facebook group. I don't know. Once we get it all up and running and I got a link to share, I'll get it out to you. But yeah, blockchain getting so very close to the blockchain. I'm very excited about that because we know. And I think we saw what John put out. I think we got like 5 projects that are ready to build on our blockchain already, as is. And as we know, that will bring more volume. That will bring more volume, as we see in this tweet here from Mr. John G. I keep pulling it down before I need to. Volume on Grove Swap will be multiplied within our Grove Keeper, as it will be the main swap to be used there, and will have many available tokens, coins to trade. We are pushing forward with our plans, and we accept nothing less than success. And that came out at 6 a.m. this morning, my time. 6 a.m. my time. But yeah, I can't wait. And that's one thing about it is when we have other projects building on our project and listing in our Grove Swap, it's going to be pretty solid, and that volume is going to be very nice. Absolutely, I think it's going to be very, very nice once everything is out and running. Once the ecosystem is completely done and out, I think it's going to be pretty dang solid. Boom. But yeah. We talked about that. We do know. I wanted to make sure we get through all that. We got 20 minutes before Jerome Powell goes live, and I already got that pulled up and ready to rock and roll. So let's go ahead and take a look at the overall market today. See what the overall market is looking like today before Mr. Jerome Powell starts speaking. Let's refresh. And as we see, it looks like we're down 0.7 on the day. The overall market is down 1.3% at sitting there at 1.08 trillion. Bitcoin sitting there right under 23,000. Ethereum sitting there at 1,575. BNB sitting there at 307. What else we got? XRP 40 cents. Doge 8, almost 9 cents. SHIB holding on 401. Cosmo had a nice little day. Avalanche down 5% on the day, but still up 11 on the week. And then let's go down. Where's our Crow at? Crow sitting there at 7 cents. So down a little bit as we see today before Mr. Jerome Powell takes the stage and we hear what he has to say. So we'll have that pulled up and we'll be ready to go. Weather update there. It is still cold and still icy with the biggest round of ice storm to come. It's pretty fun. Lot of fun. Lot of fun. There was one really cool picture that I saw. I don't know if I can find it. But yeah, it's still pretty nasty out there. Man, there was one picture that I really liked that I cannot find at all right now. That's usually how it goes, right? You still, where's it at? All right. Anyways, I can't find it and I'm wasting time trying to find it. So I will not. I'll stop looking for it. But yeah, it's still pretty nasty out there, still pretty slick. And that's what sucks is everything that's out there right now is just going to refreeze here very soon. But yeah, it is. It's not as. It's starting to kind of. It seems like it's starting to maybe just a little bit start to kind of melt, but we're not. We're still below. We're still below freezing, and we have another round to come. So, yeah. But the good thing is it's supposed to turn into rain which will actually help melt the ice. Learned that the other day. Say Moon JP, stay safe out there, man. I ain't going nowhere. Y'all see, I'm still in my big old hoodie. This is the hoodie I was telling y'all about. It's called a comfy. I'm telling y'all, this thing. Look at the inside. It's like that alpaca. I don't know if y'all can see with like the glare on it. This thing is so nice. This thing is so nice. But yeah, I ain't going nowhere. I'm going. I have been sitting on my patio. I still sit outside. I got my heaters, my blankets. My dogs don't like it too much, so they come out for about 5 minutes, maybe 10, and then they go right back inside. But yeah, no, it is what it is. But we do have another little round, I think it's supposed to be even bigger than what we got so far. Trying to see. Sometimes we've had some people out like driving live, so you can like see like a live look at the roads. Yeah, I'll go ahead and show you the live weather right now, just so you can see that I'm not joking. It really is just a bunch of. I live in this area, like right in there. I live in that area.
North winds 5, no snow accumulation.
Yeah, no snow accumulation. It's just straight ice. Yep, and there's a whole bunch more back off to the southwest as well. So it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun today. Lot of fun to be here in North Texas. No, it's not that bad. If you don't have to go anywhere, it ain't bad. If you got to go somewhere, don't. Just don't. Just don't go anywhere. Be the safest route. But yeah, that's what we got going on in the weather here. But yeah, let's take a look at Dex Tools and see what our projects we've been following over here are looking like today. Let's refresh, make sure we got the most accurate information. Starting off at Advantis, just because that was the last one I was on. Advantis, we're on the day chart here, sitting there at 504. 504, not too shabby. Had a nice little run up boop, 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 on the announcement of their AI coming out on the 4th, which is just a couple of days. Friday. Ooh, yeah. And then we see with the rest of the market kind of having a little bit of a pullback. So not too bad. Let's take a look at Grove BNB. Grove on the BNB side, 97 cents sitting there, and really not a whole lot of price action here the last couple of days. Really floating between $1. I guess we got down to 93 cents, but really floating around $1 to 97 cents. That's really been the kind of range we've been in. So not too bad. Not too bad. And I have a feeling once the blockchain is released, we might just start. That might change a little bit. We'll have to see. Grove on the ETH side, down 7% today, which is totally normal. I almost expect it to be a little more volatile just because the Ethereum network is always a little more volatile. But we're sitting there at 94 cents. And when I say volatile, you see these bigger, you see more drastic candles. Or if you look at the BNB, not a lot. We're all in the day chart. Everything's the same. So not a whole lot of, you got a lot of these on the Ethereum, a lot of these. Not a lot. Like this is more the BNB side right here. This is what you're going to see a lot of the time when you're talking about that. And when we say volatile, we see how many more bigger candles these are. So, but overall, not too bad. Just under that dollar mark, sitting there at 94 cents. Again, 7% down on the day, and we were just at the dollar mark to start the day. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Again, I personally am not real worried about the day-to-day chart action. I'm really not. I show it. I pull it up just because I whether it's good or bad or indifferent, I'm going to show it because we're going to look at it. But I am not real worried about the price action on the chart. The day-to-day price action on charts. I'm not really I'm not really focusing on that because I'm not really trying to swing trade my growth. I'm not trying to, maybe if I get a 10% run up, I could take some profits and then it comes down. I'm not trying to sit there and day trade and all that. And that's only because I don't feel like I'm smart enough, so I'm not even trying to do that. But I'm not worried about it. I'm happy. We're still up all time. We're still up from the original launch, like a lot. And then we're even up from the growth coin transition. We are still up because that started at what, 73 cents, and we're sitting there at 94, 95. I'll take it. We got Mac Group in the building. What is good, brother? Mac, you're in London, right? Mac Group, I hope so. I hope Mac is in London. Yo, I'm ready for that jam session. I don't know about y'all, but like I don't know if y'all know this, but like Grove in the background, like we got some musicians. I think we got some musicians. I'm ready for a jam session. I am ready for a jam. I don't know. I don't know. I hope the rest of the team is. We're gonna find a guitar center and just jam out in the back room somewhere. Oh man. But no, I'm excited. I really am excited. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. This flight here, I actually upgraded my seats for the first time. I'm not flying economy. And I put it on a payment plan. Thank you, Affirm. I ain't gonna lie, no shame in my game. Affirm hooked it up. So yeah, I got business, premium business both ways to and from. So I get that big boy seat. Yeah, put it on a payment plan, baby. Welcome to America, where you can just pay anything over time for a small fee. It wasn't bad though. Not too shabby, but I'm in there. I almost said Vegas. I'm down to go to Vegas too. But I'm there. I'm in London. We got London, and then I'm going north to Scotland, and I'm gonna get me a proper kilt. Yeah, with my family tartan on it. Yeah. I've shown y'all. So I found out we have two tartans. We have a new school, which is the one I have, that hoodie that I have, and then we have an old school. I honestly think I might like our old school one even better, to be truthfully honest. I think I like our old school one a little bit better with the little more calm, a little more tame, not so bright. I like that one. I like that pattern a lot compared to the new age or the modern. That's the modern. Modern solid. I have that one. I have a hoodie on that one. But yeah, I'm looking forward to. I don't know which one which one do I go with? Do I go with the modern one, or do I go with the old school? I don't know yet. I don't know. I already have the hoodie with the new school with the modern. I don't know. Both. Okay. See. Here's I like where your head's at. I in my mind both wasn't really there. I don't know why, but I totally could go. Here's what I'm gonna do. Thank you, Safe Moon JP coming in with the plan. Got it right here. So we're gonna go. We're gonna go both, and we're gonna go. New school is for the one I'm gonna wear the new school one, but like right here, I'm gonna put a shadow box. I feel like I need to move that arm so I can talk. But yeah, I think a shadow box right here with the old school one. That'd be pretty solid. Right underneath my my plaque saying that I'm a lord because I own land in Scotland. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. That'd be pretty solid. I don't know if I don't know, do I like or not like the mic being down here? What do y'all think? Do y'all like the mic down here better or no? I don't think I like that. Sorry, y'all. We're going back to. All right, I think we're back. Think we are back. Maybe if I cannot break it. I do love the fact that this has these little clips on here that keep the cord down. Solid. But yeah, so we're gonna go both now. Thank you, JP, for that one. Completely gonna go both. Now I got my thing, and there we go. All right. And that's why I don't mess with stuff. I just leave it where it's at because it's a S show trying to get it back together. But yeah, that's what's up. Man Group in the building. Appreciate you, brother. As always, how much time we got before Jerome Powell? We got 7 minutes before Jerome Powell goes live. 7 minutes before our man Jerome Powell goes live, and we take a listen to see what he has to say today. What do y'all think is going to happen? What do y'all think's coming with the with this little Jerome Powell announcement? We looked at the market. Market right now, I mean, it's down. It's having a pullback, 1.3% on the day. And are we expecting? We expecting positive, or are we expecting meh? Y'all let me know what y'all thinking. Let me know. But yeah, we'll get we got well, like I said, 6 minutes on that, so we'll get it going here in a minute. Oh man. I am curious. I'm curious to see what has to say. What all what the move is, what they're thinking. Because we never know. But I think we knocked out all the tweets that we went over. We got Grove updated, so we're squared away on that. We just waiting on we just kind of hanging out waiting on Mr. Jerome Powell to come on now. We'll put a quick poll out. See if I can't do yeah, put it out there. See what happens. See what y'all think. I just realized I didn't put a single capital letter in there. I didn't even capitalize Jerome Powell. Oh well, we'll be all right. We'll survive. We will survive. But yeah, we coming up to it. 4 minutes away. 4 minutes away from our man, Mr. Jerome Powell, coming on there and filling us in. I'm expecting 25 basis points. I'm expecting 25 basis points. What he talks about is going to be is going to be the big thing. Does he talk about? Does he have a good thing to say, or is it not so good? Do 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 do. Man, it really does get quiet with no music on here. Put music on for 2 minutes and 45 seconds before the Jerome Powell comes on. Sneak peeks at things for London. So excited. So excited. I wish I could share the booth. The show. Everything looks solid. Everything looks solid. I did get an update on merch. I did get an update on our merch. We're basically what we're doing is we are taking out the middleman. So before we were working with companies to try to work it out to where we're not doing that anymore. We are the business. We are so it's going to be us. So it's just taking a little bit longer for licenses. You got to remember, we got to have like international licenses. So that paperwork it has taken a little while, but I do believe the paperwork is now kind of, if not complete, it is very close to complete. And then we can start the process of actually getting our merchandise out there. It's pretty solid. Big hope all is well. Great to see you, man. Good to see you too, brother. Absolutely good to see you. Quiet group we are today. Man, it happens. It happens. Sometimes we're quiet. Sometimes we're not quiet. It's a good mix around here. Donald, what is good, brother? How you doing? How you doing? What is good, my brother? Music is overpowering. All right, cool. Watch this. He gone. I literally just put it on like a minute and a half ago, because we're waiting for Mr. Jerome Powell to go live here, and I hope I'm on the right one. See, catch it. I guess we'll just stick it here. It's the only one that's live. I don't necessarily care for the Yahoo Financer necessarily, but it is what it is. Music is loud. I apologize. I got it turned down. I got it turned down to the point it's off. I do apologize though. Y'all gotta let me know. I can't hear. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. See if I can find another. All right, so this is Yahoo Live is the one that is on the Hill page. So we will rock with it. As soon as it goes live, we'll get it. It's already on there. We got it rocking and rolling. So. And we're just waiting on Mr. Jerome. But it's just now 1, so we'll give him a second. Is it for some reason I thought it was 1:30. For some reason I thought it was 1:30. Do. That's from 11 hours ago. That ain't it. All right. Looks like we got it here, though. Let me know on volume. Please. Please let me know on volume as soon as as soon as he starts talking. Let's see, where am I at on volume? I got it. We're at halfway. So I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit, and if we need to, we'll bring it up. I would rather not blow your ears out to start. Smashed. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Maybe. He might start talking. I just saw Mindy post a tweet said it's hot in Florida today, a sun advisory. And I look outside and I'm like, I wish I could see the sun. I can't even see the sun. First, I really think he speaks in like 30 minutes. But then again, maybe I'm wrong. Still not on there? Okay. Just making sure. Just making sure. Trying to see if there was a time. They had a time. Press conference is at 2:30 p.m. Yeah. We're 30 minutes early on this press conference. I see. I knew. Yo, give me a second. This is my son's school calling to let me know about school. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. The school was calling to let me know that the schools are closed tomorrow, which, shocker. Knew that was coming already. But yeah, Jerome Powell speaks here in about 25 minutes. 25 minutes that actually goes live. So we will hang out until then. But that means y'all gonna have to be a little bit more talkative. A wee bit more talkative. But yeah, we'll get that on as soon as that goes live. We'll get it on, and yeah, we'll see what Mr. Jerome Powell has to say. And until then, we'll hang out. And anything else y'all want to talk about? Hang out. Let me know. Anything you want to go over before Mr. Jerome Powell goes on? Let's go see if we got anything else over here on the Twitter. Here is Grove official put out a tweet talking about kind of just the month that we've had, and it has been pretty amazing. Pretty amazing month that we've had so far. But yeah, we got we got transition from the announcement of the transition in the Twitter space. Carlo's birthday, staking of farming pools unlocked. Grove token to Grove coin details. Twitter space. Bodan made public as head of IT. MEXC first exchange to announce supporting transition. 11,000 members on main Telegram. Grove coin launch. Transition tool open. 73-cent launch price. That's pretty wild. So and we got a whole bunch of other stuff. How-to videos over on the YouTube by Anna. Grove liquidity locked on Unicrypt. Seifu audit released. Grove swap goes live. 12% cashback GVR promotion distributed. 12,000 Telegram members. Wow. Anna's B date. And then we got Grove staking goes live. John teases Grove stablecoin as USDG, MEXC, and LBank begin swapping to Grove. So pretty solid there. Pretty solid. I didn't realize I was on that view. I apologize. Golly, sometimes I hate it here. We got Cuffin the Dip in the building. What's good, brother? How you doing? Also, is that a Snuggie? Bro, this is the hoodie I've been telling y'all about. Like, I'm going to stand up and show y'all now. This is a hoodie. Man, I tell y'all what, this hoodie is so nice. It's got that alpaca on the inside. Ooh, man. Y'all want to know how I'm able to sit outside in the freezing temp? It's because of this thing right here. I tell you that. Like the hood, like just look at that right there. Just whew. So good. So good. I'm telling y'all. It's called a comfy. You need to get one. They got two sizes, kids and adult. So Cuff, if you order the adult size, you're gonna get this size. So yeah. Oh man, you're part bear, not man. I tell you, in this right here, I feel part bear. Like I would take this anywhere in the world that was cold. 100%. Yeah, but how is the baby? How's the baby doing? How's Miss T doing? Is she doing all right? But yeah, man, I'll tell you, this hoodie right here in Chicago, this hoodie, man, I tell you what, you would never not wear this. Like you would have this thing on all of the time. This is actually my second one. The first one I had was white, but I got dogs, and so I went black this time, and I like it. They're all good. That's what I like to hear, man. That's what I like to hear. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear they're all doing good too. But yeah. So what do you think? What do you think about Mr. Jerome Powell's speech today? What do you thinking positive, or you thinking not so positive? I'm curious as to what y'all think. We got about 20 minutes before Mr. Jerome Powell goes live. Cuff, how many more NFTs before the next giveaway on Flight Club? I know the Flight Club been killing it, getting a lot of support from the Bulls and Apes community as well. I think you better shut the and add 25 and walk away. Do you think he actually is going to not? I don't. Do you think he's going? Do you think he's going to shut the hell up? I just got sound. So we got sound in the video now. I'm not gonna lie, that's hella annoying in my ear. But yeah, it's there. We're gonna go ahead and how do it doesn't. And I'll get him on there as soon as he comes up. I doubt it. Facts. I think we are already in a recession and won't recover economically till elections in late 2024 to 2025. Very true. Very true. I could see that as well, but that kind of falls in line with that 2024-2025 bull run. You know what I mean? That kind of falls in line with the that mid 2024 to late 2024, maybe into 2025 bull run that a lot of people are talking about. Miss Cat T in the building. What is good, ma'am? How you doing? How you doing? I just saw your DM, and I will get back to you. If I don't DM you after the stream, please DM me and remind me. It's not that I don't want to help you. I just forget. To be truthfully honest, I'm so sorry, Miss Cat T. Shoot me a DM today if I don't DM you after the stream. Let's see if I can remember how to pronounce it. It's not para. It's not. It's para. Parasito. El parasito. Parasito. I think is what it is. I think it's how we. Because I got in trouble last time because I was saying parasito, which is not it. Parasito. El parasito. I believe is what it is. El parasito. What's good, man? How you doing? 25 BP, 25 basis points official. Hey, that's what's up. Crypto Clip Chain in the building. Good hump day afternoon, Justin and family. What's good, man? Another one going to London. I can't wait. It's going to be fun. Going to be fun. I got it. Bang. Para. Not para. Parasito. It took me forever to figure that out. It took me forever to figure that one out. But we got it in there. I remembered. At least I remembered, right? I get points for remembering. But I'm kind of with Cup on that one. I doubt that he has a lot of positive. I don't know. I just don't see the positive. He may pull out some positive, and who knows? But yeah, 25 basis points, and we really got to fight this recession a little more. I have a feeling that's going to be kind of the tone. If y'all have not yet today, and you are inside the Bulls and Apes project, make sure you are collecting your methane token because that adds up so fast. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure. I think I did it earlier, actually. But yeah. It adds up quick. It adds up quick, especially if you have Flight Club NFTs as well. If you are in the Flight Club, if you hold, I think it's 10. 10 is the minimum, but if you hold at least 10 Flight Club NFTs, you can get like 100 methane tokens a week just for holding the Flight Club NFT. So very, very solid there. Plus, you get a chance to win. Last number I heard, I think there was like $75,000 or $80,000 still left inside as rewards and prizes. So there's still quite a bit of some moolah to win over there. So if you have not, let me go ahead and get it. Let me go and get over there to the official Flight Club. I don't know how many. I know they do like every so many they do a giveaway. So I don't know what the next giveaway is, but I'm sure if Cuff is still in the chat, he can let us know. But yeah, let me get over there to what does that say? Oh, that's talking about billionaires. I still need to get in that one. I haven't even got one of those yet. Good night. That's not what I wanted either. This is the one I wanted. But yeah, if you're interested, you can go check out the Flight Club NFTs. I don't know that I can tell you right now I don't have enough Ethereum in this wallet at the moment. But that's all you got to do right there. 0.02. 0.02 will get you in the door. It is that simple to get in there and get some of that. And you can win. You can win. I see. I won $100. No, I won two $100 ones and a $50 one. So that's $250 that I just got back in my wallet. Yeah, not too shabby. Sorry, man. You good, man? You good? Like 120 until the next airdrop. Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, and I do love the fact that you got like the first 1,200 and then you hit that reveal button, and now it's like every so many you do the distribution of rewards. I like that idea. That way, there was a little bit of build up and anticipation, but now it's like as soon as you buy it, you know what you got, and then as soon as the mint number is hit, those rewards get distributed out, which is pretty solid. Pretty solid. Plus, you got OG bulls in there. You got team bulls. You got all types of things. Plus, if you don't even win anything, let's say you buy an NFT and it's a silver. You're not going to win any Ethereum. You're not going to win any prizes. But then, wait, there's more. That silver NFT is stakeable. So now you can take that stakeable NFT and go earn passive income with that as well. Beautiful. I'm just saying. I like passive income. I like when my money makes money. So I'm in. Also, that Bulls on the Block. Hey, is it Bulls on the Block or Bear on the Block? Cuff and the Dip, have you figured out a way around not being able to use Discord to get in on the 10 NFT games? Yeah, because I think that's like a security breach for Shane to use Discord. And while I was over there on the Flight Club, I happened to see this very, 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 very precious little picture. So let me go ahead and pull it up there and show the world. Congratulations again, brother. A beautiful, beautiful baby. So very, very precious. I miss newborns, but at the same time, I don't miss newborn. I do, but I don't. I do, but I don't. But brother, congratulations, man. Congratulations to you and Miss T over there. Y'all are awesome. Congratulations on that. And you like one more, and I think you legitimately can like register for a Boys and Girls Club. Like you got it. Like you were one kid away from a starting five and a rotational player. Oh man. But Shane, he says, I was thinking Twitter verify. Thanks. Love the little man. Hey, absolutely. Absolutely. How is Karma? How's Karma doing? Because sometimes the baby can like not be, is she transitioning well to being no longer the baby of the household? Because we all know Karma got that personality. Because I have a Karma as well, and she got personality as well. A lot of it. Something about naming your kid Karma like instantaneously gives them like little bit of sass. That's kind of what I figured. She loves her brother. Just thinks she is his mommy. She wants to hold him. Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. Sounds a lot like my karma and my son because she likes to think that she's the mom. But yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations again, brother. That is solid. Very, very solid. We got about 8 minutes before Mr. Jerome Powell goes live, and then we'll see what he has to say, and then we'll probably wrap it up after that. Ready for apes? Not at all. I'm ready because I got 4 in the pre-mint, but I need about 30 more. And I ain't got about 30 more money. But absolutely, I need more. I would like to grab at least like 2 or 3 more. That way I can have some to flip. I would like to this go around. Maybe take like have 2 for profit. That way, I got my money back. I'm in the profit and I'm good. So we'll see how it is. I might be able to find enough pennies under some cushions. Here's the thing: is I've been looking under these same cushions and I'm running out of pennies to find. Same cushions, not the same money underneath them. Mike in the building. Sorry, I'm late again. Good evening from Germany, from Deutschland. Brother, you're never late. You're right on time, brother. You got here right when you needed to. Got here right when you needed to, brother. But yeah, when it comes to the apes, I am 100% like mentally ready. I'm prepared. Yeah. Financially ready? No, not at all. Not at all. But these are, let me get back over to the home and we'll go back and take a look at these apes. The ape NFTs. We got 6 days, 5 hours, 36 minutes, and that's it. But these are very solid. These are a little bit different. You can be able to customizable. It's like you'll be able to change the traits and the attributes on these things. So pretty solid. Pretty solid. I love the fact that they put out like 1,500 for the pre-mint, sold out 5,000, and then they're taking 1,500 set aside for the treasury. So there's only 3,500 apes remaining to mint. That's wild, y'all. That is absolutely wild. And when you think about it, like you come down here, 100% of allocated mint sold out in 96 seconds. Half the collection sold out in 34 minutes. Minters new to BAP, 58% of they were new. Incredible efficient gas fees, under $1 on average. Yeah, pretty solid. Pretty dang solid. But like I said, all of these traits are going to be customizable. So you'll be able to take them off, sell them, hold them, put them on a different one. So pretty dang cool, if you ask me. The way they are doing it with the dynamic trait groups and things like that. So the Bulls and Apes project, y'all know I've been on. I love this NFT project. It's a solid project. They run it like a business, much like Grove. They are building an ecosystem. They are not only doing a great project themselves, but they're also bringing in so many other projects. And tokenizing those other projects inside of their own community. So it's not just Bulls and Apes. You got Bulls and Apes. You got Toy Moros. You got the Toy Moros. You got the what else? What am I forgetting here? Bulls on the Block, Bears on the Block. I mean, there's so many different little NFTs that I think there's probably like 30 different different projects that they have added into that. So. But yeah, it's pretty solid. I do like that project a lot. Especially, it is definitely my favorite NFT project at the moment. I'm still waiting for Grove to come out with theirs, but at the moment, Bulls and Apes, the community is solid, and they do a really good job over there. When I see this, I know how poor I am. When I see, man, hey, trust me, I'm right there with you. I'm trying to get it myself. We are 4 minutes away from our main man, Mr. Jerome Powell, going live. So I'm going to put that there. And as soon as I see him walk on, we'll get it on. But yeah, when it comes to Bulls and Apes, I love that project. And I'm fairly certain Cuff in the Dib does too, since he was able to take a trait from the Bulls and Apes and then create a new NFT project. It's pretty solid. Cuff, can you do some spaces or streams about strategy? Hey, there you go. What I up there? Oh, now I'm confused. I'm confused on that one, Mike. Oh, my nose itches. No problem. I do them late, but we now have a morning space. Hey, that's what I did see you put a poll out the other day, asking what time people thought would be, if they thought they, see what time was best for everyone. But that's solid. Got a morning space at 10 a.m. Central Time and a late night space at 9 p.m. Central Time. Oh, and then the late night. So he's got his Twitter space at 10 a.m. And then his YouTube channel over on the late night with Cuff and the Dip at 9 p.m. Central Time. I need to get on there one of these nights. It's been a while. I need to come back and hang out with my homie. There's still going to be a February 5th Apes Mint for those that did not get in on the first go round. Filled out the paperwork 2 times and got 0 response. That's a good question for Cuff. I don't know. I don't know if they're doing February 5th. I think it's the 7th. I think it's the 7th is when that goes live. 6 days, 5 hours, and 30 minutes. 8 Mint Twitter space, February 7th, 7 p.m. Central Time. Cuff, the man that never facts. Ain't that the truth? That is the truth. Yeah, I didn't know. I don't think. I think they're going to do it in that Twitter space, and then there's going to be like tiers. So if you hold an OG bull at a certain day when they took the snapshot, you're like tier 1. You can. I was going to say you can check out on their Discord. You can go find out what tier you are, but you don't like Discord. Saturday is you have a pass, you can mint. Hey, so Saturday, I can those 4 that I got, I can mint them. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Yes. What are the upcoming news you're waiting on for the U.S.? Jerome Powell with the FOMC, the Fed chair, is about to come on and give us an update on what's going on. So yeah. Let me know on the volume. I got it turned down a little bit, but I can add more.
Good afternoon and welcome. My colleagues and I understand the hardship that high inflation is causing, and we are strongly committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal. Over the past year, we've taken forceful actions to tighten the stance of monetary policy. We've covered a lot of ground, and the full effects of our rapid tightening so far are yet to be felt. Even so, we have more work to do. Price stability is the responsibility of the Federal Reserve and serves as the bedrock of our economy. Without price stability, the economy does not work for anyone. In particular, without price stability, we will not achieve a sustained period of labor market conditions that benefit all. Today, the FOMC raised our policy interest rate by 25 basis points. We continue to anticipate that ongoing increases will be appropriate in order to attain a stance of monetary policy that is sufficiently restrictive to return inflation to 2% over time. In addition, we are continuing the process of significantly reducing the size of our balance sheet. Restoring price stability will likely require maintaining a restrictive stance for some time. I will have more to say about today's monetary policy actions after briefly reviewing economic developments. The U.S. economy slowed significantly last year, with real GDP rising at a below-trend pace of 1%. Recent indicators point to modest growth of spending and production this quarter. Consumer spending appears to be expanding at a subdued pace, in part reflecting tighter financial conditions over the past year. Activity in the housing sector continues to weaken, largely reflecting higher mortgage rates. Higher interest rates and slower output growth also appear to be weighing on business fixed investment. Despite the slowdown in growth, the labor market remains extremely tight, with the unemployment rate at a 50-year low, job vacancies still very high, and wage growth elevated. Job gains have been robust, with employment rising by an average of 247,000 jobs per month over the last 3 months. Although the pace of job gains has slowed over the course of the past year and nominal wage growth has shown some signs of easing, the labor market continues to be out of balance. Labor demand substantially exceeds the supply of available workers, and the labor force participation rate has changed little from a year ago. Inflation remains well above our longer-run goal of 2%. Over the 12 months ending in December, total PCE prices rose 5.0%. Excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 4.4%. The inflation data received over the past 3 months show a welcome reduction in the monthly pace of increases. And while recent developments are encouraging, we will need substantially more evidence to be confident that inflation is on a sustained downward path. Despite elevated inflation, longer-term inflation expectations appear to remain well anchored, as reflected in a broad range of surveys of households, businesses, and forecasters, as well as measures from financial markets. But that's not grounds for complacency. Although inflation has moderated recently, it remains too high. The longer the current bout of high inflation continues, the greater the chance that expectations of higher inflation will become entrenched. The Fed's monetary policy actions are guided by our mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation. We are highly attentive to the risks that inflation poses to both sides of our mandate, and we are strongly committed to returning inflation to our 2% objective. At today's meeting, the committee raised the target range for the federal funds rate by 25 basis points, bringing the target range to 4.5% to 4.75%. And we are continuing the process of significantly reducing the size of our balance sheet. With today's action, we have raised interest rates by 4.5 percentage points over the past year. We continue to anticipate that ongoing increases in the target range for the federal funds rate will be appropriate in order to attain a stance of monetary policy that is sufficiently restrictive to return inflation to 2% over time. We are seeing the effects of our policy actions on demand in the most interest-sensitive sectors of the economy, particularly housing. It will take time, however, for the full effects of monetary restraint to be realized, especially on inflation. In light of the cumulative tightening of monetary policy and the lags with which monetary policy affects economic activity and inflation, the committee decided to raise interest rates by 25 basis points today, continuing the step down from last year's rapid pace of increases. Shifting to a slower pace will better allow the committee to assess the economy's progress toward our goals, as we determine the extent of future increases that will be required to attain a sufficiently restrictive stance. We will continue to make our decisions meeting by meeting, taking into account the totality of incoming data and their implications for the outlook for economic activity and inflation. We have been taking forceful steps to moderate demand so that it comes into better alignment with supply. Our overarching focus is using our tools to bring inflation back down to our 2% goal and to keep longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Reducing inflation is likely to require a period of below-trend growth and some softening of labor market conditions. Restoring price stability is essential to set the stage for achieving maximum employment and stable prices over the longer run. The historical record cautions strongly against prematurely loosening policy. We will stay the course until the job is done. To conclude, we understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. We at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
All right, so there it is. Another 25 basis points.
Associated Press, thank you for doing this.
But yeah, 25 basis points, and it sounds like they're going to continue to increase in kind of this 25 basis points for a little while longer until they see that it is until they're able to lower it. They're going to continue to raise it. So got a little longer, a little more to go. Questions is a big part. I'll put it back on.
In place in order to bring inflation down. Inflation is likely to require a period of below-trend growth and some softening of labor market conditions.
I was trying to back it up.
Restoring price stability is essential to set the stage for achieving maximum employment, and we at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
Chris Rugaber, Associated Press, thank you for doing this. As you know, financial conditions have loosened since the fall, with bond yields falling, which has also brought down mortgage rates, and the stock market posted a solid gain in January. Does that make your job of combating inflation harder, and could you see lifting rates higher than you otherwise would to offset the increase in, or to offset the easing of financial conditions?
So it is important that overall financial conditions continue to reflect the policy restraint that we're putting in place in order to bring inflation down to 2%. And of course, financial conditions have tightened very significantly over the past year. I would say that our focus is not on short-term moves, but on sustained changes to broader financial conditions. And it is our judgment that we're not yet at a sufficiently restrictive policy stance, which is why we say that we expect ongoing hikes will be appropriate. Of course, many things affect financial conditions, not just our policy. And we will take into account overall financial conditions along with many other factors as we set policy.
Hi, Chair Powell. Thank you for taking our questions. Rachel Siegel from the Washington Post. Over the last quarter, we've seen a deceleration in prices, in wages, and a fall in consumer spending, all while the unemployment rate has been able to stay at a historic low. Does this at all change your view of how much the unemployment rate would need to go up, if at all, to see inflation come down to the levels you're
Howdy, ma'am.
So I would say it is a good thing that the disinflation that we have seen so far has not come at the expense of a weaker labor market. But I would also say that disinflationary process that you now see underway is really at an early stage. What you see is really in the goods sector, you see inflation now coming down because supply chains have been fixed, demand is shifting back to services, and shortages have been abated. So you see that in the housing services sector. We expect inflation to continue moving up for a while, but then to come down, assuming that new leases continue to be lower. So in those two sectors, you've got a good story.
Just
issues that we
Moonshot
have
in the
a large
building. What's good,
sector
brother?
called
That's what
non-housing,
JP saying so
core
far.
non-housing
25 basis
buildings,
points,
no association yet.
and
But
it's going to be a
I would
little
say
longer.
that, so far, what we see is progress, but without any weakening in labor market conditions.
Has your,
Go ahead.
has your expectation for where the unemployment rate might go changed since December?
You know, we're going to write down new forecasts at the March meeting, and we'll see at that time. I will say that it is gratifying to see the disinflationary process now getting underway, and we continue to get strong labor market data. But, you know, we'll update those forecasts in March.
Hi, Chair Powell. Neil Irwin with Axios. You and some of your colleagues have emphasized the possibility that job openings could come down and that that would let some of the air out of the labor market without major job losses. We saw the opposite in the December JOLTS.
It sounds like he is happy with where we are, but the job is not done, and we got a little while longer to before we really get into a really
So
good spot.
You're
I
right
think.
about the data, of course. What we did see, we've seen average hourly earnings and now the employment cost index abating a little bit, still off of their highs of 6 months ago and more, but still at levels that are fairly elevated. The job openings number in JOLTS has been quite volatile recently, and I did see that it moved back up this morning. I do think that it's probably an important indicator. The ratio, I guess, is back up to 1.9 job openings to unemployed people who are looking for work. So it's an indicator, but nonetheless, you're right. We do see wages moving down. If you look across the rest of the labor market, you still see very high payroll job creation, and you know, quits are still at an elevated level. So by many indicators, the job market is still very strong.
Colby and then Howard. Thank you. Colby Smith with the Financial Times. Given the economic data since the December meeting, is the trajectory for the Fed funds rate in the most recent SEP still the best guidepost for the policy path forward, or does ongoing now mean more than 2 rate rises now?
So you're right. At the December meeting, we all wrote down our best estimates of what we thought the ultimate level would be, and that's obviously back in December, and the median for that was between 5 and 5.25%. At the March meeting, we're going to update those assessments. We did not update them today. We did, however, continue to say that we believe ongoing rate hikes will be appropriate to attain a sufficiently restrictive stance of policy to bring inflation back down to 2%. We think we've covered a lot of ground, and financial conditions have certainly tightened. And I would say we still think there's work to do there. We haven't made a decision on exactly where that will be. I think, you know, we're going to be looking carefully at the incoming data between now and the March meeting and then the May meeting. I don't feel a lot of certainty about where that will be. It could certainly be higher than we're writing down right now. If we come to the view that we need to write down to move rates up beyond what we said in December, we would certainly do that. At the same time, if the data come in the other direction, then we'll make data-dependent decisions at coming meetings, of course.
Just as a quick follow-up, how are you viewing the kind of balance of risk between those 2 options of, the likelihood of maybe falling short of that or going beyond that level?
I guess I would say it this way. I continue to think that it's very difficult to manage the risk of doing too little and finding out in 6 or 12 months that we actually were close but didn't get the job done, and inflation springs back and we have to go back in, and now you really do worry about expectations getting unanchored and that kind of thing. This is a very difficult risk to manage, whereas of course we have no incentive and no desire to over-tighten, but if we feel like we've gone too far, we can certainly and inflation is coming down faster than we expect, then we have tools that would work on that. So I do think that in this situation where we have still the highest inflation in 40 years, the job is not fully done. As I started to mention earlier, we have a sector that represents 56% of the core inflation index where we don't see disinflation yet. So we don't see it. It's not happening yet. Inflation in core services X housing is still running at 4% on a 6 and 12-month basis. So there's nothing happening there. In the other two sectors, representing less than 50%, you actually, I think, now have a story that is credible, that's coming together, although you don't actually see disinflation yet in housing services, but it's in the pipeline, right? So for the third sector, we don't see anything here. So I think it would be premature, it would be very premature to declare victory or to think that we've really got this. We need to see, our goal, of course, is to bring inflation down. And how do we get that done? There are many, many factors driving inflation in that sector, and they should be coming into play to have inflation, the disinflationary process begin in that sector. But so far, we don't see that. And I think until we do, we see ourselves as having a lot of work left to do.
Howard Schneider with Reuters, and thanks as usual. So I just wanted to connect a couple dots here. The statement's made a number of changes that seem to be saying things are getting better. You're saying inflation has eased. That's new. You've taken out references to the war in Ukraine as causing price increases. You've taken out references to the pandemic. You've eliminated all the reasons that you said prices were being driven higher. Yet that's not mapping to any change in how you describe policy. We still have ongoing increases to come. So I'm wondering, why is that the case? And does it have more to do with uncertainty around the outlook, or more to do with you not wanting to give a very overeager market a reason to get ahead of itself and overreact?
So I guess I would say it this way. We can now say, I think, for the first time, that the disinflationary process has started. We can see that, and we see it really in goods prices so far. Goods prices is a big sector. This is what we thought would happen since the very beginning, and now here it is actually happening, and for the reasons we thought. It's supply chains, it's shortages, and it's demand revolving back towards services. So this is a good thing. This is a good thing. But that's around a quarter of the PCE price index, core PCE price index. So the second sector is housing services, and that's driven by very different things. And we, as I mentioned, with housing services, we expect, and other forecasters expect, that measured inflation will continue moving up for several months, but will then come down, assuming that new leases continue to be soft. And we do assume that. So we think that that's sort of in the pipeline. And we actually see disinflation in the goods sector, and we see it in the pipeline for two sectors that amount to a little less than half. So this is good, and we note that when we say inflation is coming down, that this is good. We expect to see that disinflation process will be seen, we hope soon, in the core goods the core services ex-housing sector that I talked about. We don't see it yet. It's 7 or 8 different kinds of services. Not all of them are the same, and we have a sense of what's going on in each of those different subsections. Probably the biggest part of it, probably 60% of that research would show is sensitive to slack in the economy, and so the labor market will probably be important. Some of the other ones, the labor market's not going to be important. Many other factors will drive it. In any case, we don't see disinflation in that sector yet, and I think we need to see that. It's the majority of the core PCE index, which is the thing that we think is the best predictor of headline PCE, which is our mandate. So it's not that we're neither optimistic nor pessimistic. We're just telling you that we don't see inflation moving down yet in that large sector. I think we will fairly soon, but we don't see it yet. Until we do, I think we see ourselves, we got to be honest with ourselves, we see ourselves as having perhaps we'll see more persistent inflation in that sector, which will take longer to get down. And we're just going to have to complete the job. I mean, that's what we're here for.
Nick Timmeros, The Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, you observed several years ago that we learned we can have a low unemployment rate without above target inflation, and we have learned lately that inflation can come down from its uncomfortably high level despite a historically low unemployment rate. Given that, and given how much you did over the last year, why do you think further rate increases are needed? Why not stop here and see what transpires in the coming months before raising rates again?
So we've raised rates 4.5 percentage points, and we're talking about a couple of more rate hikes to get to that level we think is appropriately restrictive. And why do we think that's probably necessary? We think because inflation is still running very hot. We're, of course, taking into account long and variable lags, and we're thinking about that. The story we're telling about inflation is, to ourselves, and the way we understand it is basically the three things that I've just gone through a couple times. And again, we don't see it affecting the services sector ex housing yet. But I mean, I think our assessment is that we're not very far from that level. We don't know that, though. We don't know that. So I think we're living in a world of significant uncertainty. I would look across the spectrum of rates and see that real rates are now positive, right, by an appropriate set of measures, are positive across the yield curve. I think policy is restrictive. We're trying to make a fine judgment about how much is restrictive enough. That's all. And we're going to, that's why we're slowing down to 25 basis points. We're going to be carefully watching the economy and watching inflation and watching the progress of the disinflationary process.
Did you or your colleagues discuss the conditions for a pause at this meeting this week?
Well, you'll see the minutes will come out in 3 weeks, and we'll give you a lot of detail. We spent a lot of time talking about the path ahead and the state of the economy, and I wouldn't want to start to describe all the details there, but that was the sense of the discussion, was really talking quite a bit about the path forward.
Hi, Chair Powell. I wanted to ask about the debt ceiling. Given that we've now hit up against it, I was wondering if the U.S. goes past the X date, will the Fed do whatever the Treasury directs as it relates to making payments as the fiscal agent, or will it do its own analysis of any legal constraints?
So your question is, say your question again?
Will the Fed do what Treasury directs as it relates to making payments, or will it do its own analysis of any legal constraints?
So you're really asking about, you're asking about prioritization, in effect, is what
Yes,
you're, okay.
yes.
So I feel like I have to say this. There's only one way forward here, and that is for Congress to raise the debt ceiling so that the United States government can pay all of its obligations when due. And any deviations from that path would be highly risky, and that no one should assume that the Fed can protect the economy from the consequences of failing to act in a timely manner. In terms of our relationship with the Treasury, we are their fiscal agent, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Are you actively doing any planning of what might happen in the event that would happen?
I'm just going to leave it at that. This is a matter that's to be resolved between, it's really Congress's job to raise the debt ceiling, and I gather there are discussions happening, but they don't involve us. We're not involved in those discussions, so we're the fiscal agent.
Gina Smiley from the New York Times. Thanks for taking our questions. I wonder, was there any discussion today of the possibility of pausing rate increases and then restarting them? Lori Logan from the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas seemed to suggest that that would be a possibility in a recent speech, and I wonder if that view is broadly shared on the committee.
So the committee, obviously, did not see this as a time to pause. We judged that the appropriate thing to do at this meeting was to raise the federal funds rate by 25 basis points, and we said that we continue to anticipate that ongoing increases in the target range will be appropriate in order to attain that stance of sufficiently restrictive monetary policy that will bring inflation down to 2%. So that's the judgment that we made. We're gonna write down new forecasts in March, and we'll certainly be looking at the incoming data as everyone else will.
I mean, would it be possible to take a meeting off, for example, and then resume? Could you, rather than just doing at every meeting a move, go a little bit more slowly, take some gaps in between moves?
I mean, I think this is not something that the committee is thinking about or exploring in any kind of detail. In principle, though, we used to do was go every other meeting, if you remember, 25 basis points, and that was considered a fast pace. So I think a lot of options are available, and I mean, you saw what the Bank of Canada did, and they left it that they're willing to raise rates after pausing. But this is not something that the Federal Open Market Committee is on the point of deciding right now.
Steve Leisman, CNBC. Mr. Chairman, the SEP has the PCE inflation rate in 2023 at 3.1%. Meanwhile, the 3-month annualized PCE is 2.1%, and you've achieved this without going to your 5.1% funds rate, which is what you have penciled in for this year. And you've also achieved it without the 1 percentage point increase in the unemployment rate, which you have penciled in for this year. I'm wondering if you've considered the idea of whether or not your understanding of the inflation dynamic may be wrong, and it's possible to achieve these things without raising rates that high, and also without the surge in unemployment. And specifically, I wonder if you might comment on the speech given by Vice Chair Lael Brainerd, who said, to the extent that inputs other than wages may have been responsible in part for important price increases for some non-housing services, an unwinding of these factors. In other words, it may not be wages, the idea that it may not require unemployment rising to get this sector of inflation under control. Thanks.
So a couple things. First, on the forecast, you're right. If you take very short-term, three-month, say, measures of PCE, core PCE inflation, they're quite low right now. But that's because it's driven by significantly negative readings from goods inflation. Most forecasters would think that the significantly negative readings will be transitory, and that goods inflation will move up fairly soon back up to its longer run trend of something around 0, something like that. So a lot of forecasts would call for core PCE to go back up to 4% by the middle of the year, for example. So that's really where the sustainable level is more like at 4%. So that would suggest there's work left to do. Let's say inflation does come down much faster than we expect, which is possible. As I mentioned, obviously our policy is data dependent. We would take that into account. In terms of the core non-housing services, as I mentioned earlier, it's a very diverse sector, 6 or 7 sectors, and so sectors that represent 55 or 60% of that subsectors of that sector we think are sensitive to slack in the economy, sensitive to the labor market in a way. But some of the other sectors are not. And for example, financial services is a big sector that's really not driven by labor markets, wages. So that's why I said there are a number of things that will affect. Take restaurants, right? So clearly labor is important for restaurants, but so are food prices. And transportation services is going to be driven by fuel prices, for example. So there are lots of things in that mix that will drive inflation. I would say overall, though, my own view would be that you're not going to have a sustainable return to 2% inflation in that sector without a better balance in the labor market. And I don't know what that will require in terms of increased unemployment, your question. I do think there are a number of dimensions through which the labor market can soften. And so far, we've got, as I mentioned, in goods, we have inflation moving down without the softening in the labor market. I think most forecasters would say that unemployment will probably rise a bit from here, but I continue to think that there's a path to getting inflation back down to 2% without a really significant economic decline or a significant increase in unemployment. And that's because the setting we're in is quite different. The inflation that we originally got was very much a collision between very strong demand and hard supply constraints, not something that you really have seen in prior business cycles. And so now we see goods inflation coming down for the reasons we thought, and we understand why housing inflation will come down. And I think a story will emerge on the non-housing services sector soon enough. But I think there's ongoing disinflation, and we don't yet see weakening in the labor market. So we'll have to see.
Can we get there with 5%?
Certainly possible. Yeah, absolutely, it's possible. It's a question no one really knows. I think it's because this is not like the other business cycles in so many ways. It may well be that that it will take more slowing than we expect, than I expect, to get inflation down to 2%. But I don't. That's not my base case. My base case is that the economy can return to 2% inflation without a really significant downturn or a really big increase in unemployment. I think that's a possible outcome. I think many forecasters would say it's not the most likely outcome, but I would say there's a chance of it.
Michael McKee from Bloomberg TV and Radio. I'd like to pick up on what you were just saying about a substantial downturn and ask, with the full weight of your tightening not in place yet, and with the progress against inflation, there's still a lot of talk about very, very slow growth going forward in 2023, and the recession indicators are all suggesting that we are going to see recession this year. So I'm wondering if you've changed your view, or you have a more nuanced view of what you think the danger to economic growth is going forward, and whether you're very close to perhaps tipping it into the wrong place, which calls for more restraint on your part.
So I do think most forecasts and my own assessment would be that growth will continue, positive growth will continue, but at a subdued pace, as it did last year. We had growth of GDP growth of 1% last year, and also final sales growth, which we think is a better indicator of about 1%. I think most forecasts and certainly my assessment would be that growth will continue at a fairly subdued level this year. There are other factors, though, that need to be considered. You will have seen that the global picture is improving a bit, and that will matter for us potentially. The labor market remains very, very strong, and that's job creation, that's wages. As inflation does come down, sentiment will improve. You also, state and local governments are really flush these days with money, and many of them are considering tax cuts or even sending checks. So I think that's going to support. They're also spending a lot. There's a lot of spending coming in the construction pipeline, both private and public, and so that's going to support economic activity. So I think there's a good chance that those factors will help support positive growth this year, and that's my base case is that there will be positive growth this year.
Thank you. Rich Miller from Bloomberg. First of all, how are you doing?
Fine, thanks. Fine.
Good. Second off, I think earlier on in the press conference, you said you need to see substantially more evidence of inflation coming down. Can you give us some idea of what you're thinking of? You mentioned 3 months. We've seen 3 months in a row. Governor Waller suggested he might want to see 6 months. Is it just the inflation data, or do you have to see the labor market coming back into better balance to have that substantially more evidence
So
metric?
I don't think there's going to be a light switch flipped or anything like that. I think it's just an accumulation of evidence. So of course we'll be looking, by the time of the March meeting, we'll have 2 more employment reports, 2 more CPI reports, and we'll be looking at those carefully, as all of us will, and we'll be asking ourselves, what are they telling us? And soon after that, we'll have another ECI wage report, which, as you know, is a report that we like because it adjusts for composition and it's very complete. And the one we got, I guess it was yesterday, was constructive. It shows wages coming down, but still at a high level. They're still at a level that's well above where they were before the pandemic. So I don't want to put a number on it in terms of months, but as the accumulated evidence comes in, it's going to be reflected in our assessment of the outlook, and that will be reflected in our policy over time. But I will say, though, it is our job to restore price stability and achieve 2% inflation for the benefit of the American public. Market participants have a very different job, and it's a fine job. It's a great job. In fact, I did that job for years, but in one form or another. But we have to deliver that, and so we are strongly resolved that we will complete this task because we think it has benefits that will support economic activity and benefit the public for many, many years.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Fed Chairman, for taking the questions. So you've talked about we had solid job growth. I'm Everett Lawrence from Fox Business, by the way. We had solid job growth, a slight falling in the increase in consumer spending. It seems so far it's been relatively mild from the economy to go from a 9.1% CPI inflation to 6.5% CPI inflation. Is the hard part yet to come, to go from 6.5 to 2?
I don't think we know, honestly. You know, so we, of course, expected goods inflation to start coming down by the end of 2021. And it didn't. It didn't come down all through 22. And now it's coming down. It's coming down pretty fast. So I would say this is not a standard business cycle where you can look at the last 10 times there was a global pandemic and we shut the economy down and Congress did what it did and we did what we did. It's unique. So I think certainty is just not appropriate here. Inflation, it's just harder to forecast inflation. It may come down faster. It may take longer to come down. And, you know, our job is to deliver inflation back to target, and we will do that. But I think we're going to be cautious about declaring victory and, you know, sending signals that we think that the game is won, because we've got a long way to go. It's the early stages of disinflation, and it's most welcome to be able to say that we are now in disinflation. But that's great, but we just see that it has to spread through the economy and that it's going to take some time. That's all.
How long do you see then the federal funds rate remaining at this elevated level?
You know, so my forecast and that of my colleagues, as you will see from the SEP, and I mean, there are many different forecasts, but generally it's a forecast of slower growth, some softening in labor market conditions, and inflation moving down steadily, but not quickly. And in that case, if the economy performs broadly in line with those expectations, it will not be appropriate to cut rates this year, to loosen policy this year. Of course, other people have forecasts with inflation coming down much faster. That's a different thing. You know, if that happens, if inflation comes down much faster, you know, then we'll be seeing that, and it will be incorporated into our thinking about policy.
We'll take one more question.
Simon Rinovich with The Economist. May I ask a further question about the language around ongoing increases? That, of course, implies at least 2 further rate rises. If you look at Fed Fund futures pricing, the implication is that you'll raise rates one more time and then pause. Are you concerned about that divergence, or do you think if everything breaks right, is that a plausible outcome?
I'm not particularly concerned about the divergence, no, because it is largely due to the market's expectation that inflation will move down more quickly. I think that's the bigger part of that. So again, as I just mentioned, our forecasts, different participants have different forecasts, but generally those forecasts are for continued subdued growth, some softening in the labor market, but not a recession, and we have inflation moving down, into somewhere in the mid-3s or maybe lower than that this year. We'll update that in March, but that's what we thought in December. Markets are past that. They show inflation coming down in some cases much quicker than that. So we'll just have to see. And we have a different view, it's a different forecast, really. Given our outlook, I don't see us cutting rates this year if we get our outlook turns true. As I mentioned just now, if we do see inflation coming down much more quickly, that'll play into our policy setting, of course.
All right, y'all. Got some questions in there. But yeah, it looks like we're going to have a couple more raises, maybe, potentially. We'll have to see before they actually do pivot. Moonshot said, that's good, though. No pivot yet. Usually when banks start laying people off, pivot starts. So yeah, we'll have to see. It sounds like they are preparing for positive, but at the same time being cautious. So that's kind of what it is, and we'll have more discussion about it tomorrow, giving us a day to kind of let it all sink in and take it all in. But I am not hating it. I'm not either. That I'm in my body. I'm feeling like I almost took that as a positive. Like we could see things start to kind of slowly turn around, potentially, which is a good thing. But I do like the fact that they say that they can see maybe a little light at the tunnel, but they're not going to quit. They're going to make sure the job is done and done right. So yeah, there was two huge positives. I did notice this one. This one kind of caught my ear. How state and local governments are just like have so much money that they're doing so much construction. I know my town, like my little town, where every little pothole's getting plugged up. But yeah, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And his prediction, 3%, potentially by the end of the year. And his prediction is 3% by the end of the year, and that means 2% right in time for a bear market. I was whoops bull market. Yeah. It's all kind of starting to kind of run. We were starting to maybe potentially see like that mid 2024 bull run. But yeah, I mean, I have a feeling it's going to take a little while. Like you said, it's going to take time to see it the flow through all quarters of the all the pipeline. But starting to potentially see the pivot coming. So from what I understand, I don't think there's a meeting next month, but they'll jump back in March. And the crypto market just added $3 billion in the last hour in value. Wow. Wow. Yeah. When we started the stream, we were down like 0.8 on the day. And now we can see that, boom, now we're up 1.4. The overall market is almost up a full percent after being down almost a full percent. So we'll come over here and take a look at Bitcoin. And we see that basically since the beginning of that, nice little run up there. So very nice on that. Pretty. I'm not mad at that. I am not mad at that at all. So yeah, hey, we got JustAman in the building. How you doing, Mama? But yeah, I'm definitely not mad at that. At what Powell had to say there. It sounded like he wanted to be bullish without being bullish. If that makes sense. But yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. I'm good with that. Kind of like right now. That's seems to be more positive than negative than I think we've kind of been anticipating. So very solid, very, very solid. But yeah, we'll have more conversation about it tomorrow. Kind of give us a day to sink it in and see what the markets do. And when we come back tomorrow, we'll talk about it some more. But we are going to get up out of here. We're at the almost the 2-hour mark, which it's been a while since I've done a 2-hour stream. Not going to lie, but kind of an oof. My only negative I took away is softening in the labor market. Yeah. I was just about to say, like, even that. I mean, it could have been way worse. Like that speech could have been way worse, way worse. But yeah, I'm not mad at the way that that went down. I'm at all. I changed my YouTube title to "Will the Fed Announce Recession?" It doesn't sound like it. It actually sounds like the opposite of that. So I'm pretty excited. Now it's time for me to start stacking so that I can maximize the the bottom. Hopefully I didn't miss the complete bottom. Let's hope. Nah. Considering that is 2 months worth of inflation because January was no report or change. There we go. See, I'm glad Moonshot's here because he's way smarter than me. You know what they say, if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to change rooms. But yeah, y'all, we are about to get up out of here. I'm going to get some food, and the boys' room's calling. I'm over here just pounding, banging, and water during that speech. So appreciate y'all for coming and hanging out. We are going to wrap it up. We're gonna get up out of here. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same vibe, same great channel. But man, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all always showing up, showing love, and showing support to the channel. Y'all are the best. Y'all are the best for real. Appreciate you, Moonshot, for coming by. As always, definitely appreciate you coming in, and the conversation is always A+. Always A+. But we are going to get up out of here, and I'm going to leave y'all like I always leave y'all. 2 things in this world that y'all can control at all times. That's attitude and effort. Stay positive. Give 110% in everything you do. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Tell somebody you love them today. You never know. May change their day, their week, their month, or even their year. Appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all tonight on Twitter, but we'll be back here tomorrow with Miss Mindy, I do believe. But until then, y'all have a good day, and we'll see y'all later. I'm just a man. Peace.